it's recording now. All right. Okay. Great. All right. So.
All right.
Yeah. No, it's been so long since
know.
we've done it this way.
Okay.
So why don't you have a seat there?
Okay.
And make sure you can still be seen.
All right.
Yes, you can. Let's see if I can straighten this up a little bit. There we go. Let's put this down just a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So it's a little different, right? We've been in because I'm so used to seeing you virtual. Yeah, in person is great. So what I'd like to do is just kind of pick it up from where we left off.
Okay.
And since you're in person, I want to kind of get into a groove, and I'm going to get you on your feet. I think it's probably, because it's been a long time since I've been able to see you standing and presenting.
Okay.
So let me see. So why don't we just start from the beginning and work what we have so far.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just kind of read it for right now. And if you don't mind, I'm going to be a little different position, because I want to be seen too on the video. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, great. Oh. All right.
All right. Okay. Can we set up?
I want to hear it first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this award. Last year, I was here on stage presenting an award. And this year, I am here to accept the Maverick Award on behalf of Harlems Fashion Row. I am so grateful to the entire team at the American Image Awards and the CFDA for this recognition. Stephen Kolb, thank you so much for being such a huge support, for coming to Harlem for coming to Harlem over a decade ago to have a conversation with me and so many Black designers, and for your continued support throughout the years. Cassandra Diggs, your empathy, your phone calls have meant so much to me over the years. To so many of our brand partners who are here in this room, who have been on the front lines with me and the team at Harlem's Fashion Row to support Black designers and HBCU fashion departments, thank you so much. Your support matters. It means more than you know to this entire fashion community. And my daughter Sky couldn't be with me tonight, but I'm sure my husband is videotaping and she is going to want to hear her name. So thank you so much to my baby Sky Daniel. And last but not least, to my husband, Rich Daniel, who's been with me on this journey for the last 16 years. Thank you so much. Now, I want you all to go back with me. I want you to go back to when you were a kid. Was there anyone in here that had a bike when they were a kid?
Good, let's stop there. Okay, great. Great.
That thank you was too long.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I'm trying to do the whole thing in like 3 minutes.
Well, let's play with it first.
Okay.
And then we'll see where we're at with it, because it could be a pacing thing.
Okay.
Let's have you. I wonder, is this plugged in? It is, but let's see how far it comes out. Let's have maybe. Let's see. Let me move that chair, Brandice.
You can have me stand at the podium.
Yeah, because you're going to be at the podium,
Yeah.
right? Okay, great. So let's have you. Let's see. Come around this way so you don't trip.
Yep.
So let's pretend. Let me just move it more center. Oh. Okay, great. All right, great.
Okay.
So let's do it from the beginning.
All right.
And this time you probably could pick up the pace a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to be able to see
Okay.
the people, see their faces.
I think so.
You will?
Because I did it. Like I presented the award last year. I could see people.
You see people? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's pretend like they're in different parts of the room.
Okay.
So I want you to find them and make eye contact with them as you talk to them.
Okay.
All right?
I think when I come up, I'm gonna say I don't know if anybody's presented me with this award. I think it's just a video and I come up.
Uh-huh.
I think I don't know. let's just assume somebody's presenting me. Thank you so much, Allison, for presenting me with this award. Wow. Last year, I was actually on this stage presenting an award. And this year, I am here to accept an award, the Maverick Award, on behalf of Harlems Fashion Row. I am so deeply honored. Thank you to the American Image Awards and to the CFDA for this recognition. Stephen Kolb, I remember you coming to Harlem a decade ago from a cold email that I sent you to speak to me and so many other Black designers.
Let's stop there. Good. Can you say that in a way where, do you remember? You remember? But you don't have to say remember.
But just like,
yeah. You know, you're kind of like, because he probably will do this, you know what I mean? So play with that a little bit. See what happens.
I've had so much support from the CFDA. Stephen, remember you coming to Harlem over a decade ago to have a conversation with me at the Schomburg, and so many Black designers were inspired that night. Thank you for your support over the years. And Cassandra Diggs, we've had so many conversations. I am so grateful for your empathy and your support. As I look around this room, I see so many of our brand partners. Thank you. I want you to know that your work matters more than you know. To not only Harlem's Fashion Row, not only to the designers, not only to the HBCUs, but to this entire industry that you're helping to push forward in the right direction. My daughter couldn't be here tonight, but I have to thank her because she's going to see this on video later. So thank you to my baby, Sky Daniel. And last but not least, my husband, Rich Daniel, is here. Thank you so much, babe, for being on this journey with me for the last 16 years.
Good. Let's stop there. Good. It was great.
Okay.
Cynthia and what's the other guy's name?
Stephen Cole.
Stephen
is the CEO of the CFDA.
You do the others so well, like they're so different, and you have a personal relationship with. I still wish that there was something that could make Stephen and Cynthia a difference in energy. So what does Stephen do?
You feel Stevens, right? You don't feel Cassandra's?
I don't really feel Stevens enough. Tell me about Stephen. Just tell me about this. What is his personality like? You laughed.
Because he's just because Stephen has supported Harlem's Fashion Row, but Stephen is the one who didn't also want to talk about race. So I probably still hold that against him a bit. I still hold a lot of things against him, unfortunately. So okay. I'm like thanking him because I have to thank him. And also, he really has opened some doors, but to me, he could do more. Honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's probably what you're feeling like this,
Yeah.
And Cassandra is a Black woman who was a COO who they made the president, but they've given her no power.
Okay.
And that whole dynamics frustrate me so much.
Yeah. So
you might feel that. I'm trying not to show that.
Okay. Well, I don't feel that, which is good, but I do feel a genericness though. So what you want to do, you're empowering yourself. You're empowering the audience. And what you want to do is, the gratitude is magic.
No, okay.
Yeah, gratitude.
I am grateful for him.
Of course.
Really am.
And that's where you want to go.
Okay.
It doesn't take away from the, what's not there, so to speak. But if you show the energy there, if there's a sense of gratitude there, and you put that energy there, and you give him that sense of thankfulness and gratitude in front of everybody, who knows how he might transform.
Yeah, that's true.
She doesn't have power.
Yeah.
Give her power.
Yeah.
Give her as much power as you.
I want to give her power. Yep. That's what I really wanted to do.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that.
You're
All
welcome.
Right. And to Stephen Kolb, the CEO of the CFDA, who came to Harlem to have a conversation with me over 10 years ago, I am so grateful for your support back then, because it meant so much for so many Black designers and people in fashion to see you in Harlem at that moment, and I'm so grateful for your continued support.
Excellent. Yeah, that's
that
it.
Was good.
That was great. I guess Cynthia some power.
And Cassandra Diggs, thank you for your leadership. We have had so many conversations where you have encouraged me to keep going. So many conversations where you've extended your empathy. I am so grateful for all the work and for your presence at the CFDA.
Excellent. Yes, that's it.
You got to send this to me.
Okay, yes, okay. I will. That was great. Excellent. Okay. Let's go to the next section. So we're defining, I want you to remember that when you don't have me, for whatever reason you have a presentation, each moment, these are beats. And you want to find a way to perfect the beats. You don't want to run past them. So if you notice with this now, you've created a world for yourself. You've created an energy just in this moment. So when you're working on your other presentations, remember that you're going to break them up into beats and make sure that you work every beat and make it as amazing as you possibly can, like you did. So the intros are going to be great.
Okay.
From this.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right, we're going to go to the next part or to the rest of the introduction?
Oh, keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay. I look out in this room and I see so many of our brand
Okay,
partners.
no, you're great with that. Let's move to the next one.
Okay. All right. Now, I want you guys to take it all the way back to when you were a child. Did any of you in this room have a bike as a kid? Well, so did I. And I lived in a neighborhood in Memphis where there were three streets in our neighborhood. I lived on the first street, but when I got to the third street, there was a hill on that street. And I think I'm just gonna go for it.
That's fine.
Yeah,
okay. That's fine. Yeah.
So when I got to the third street, there was a hill, and so I would ride my bike, and I would get to that hill, and the hard part was getting up the hill. And I had a few decisions to make. Either I was gonna gut it and use that momentum to get me up the hill, either I would change the gears to make it a little bit easier for me to paddle. And sometimes if I had done that a few times, I would get up to that hill and the gunning didn't work and changing the gears didn't work, and I would just have to walk that bike up the hill. But it was worth it because of what was on the other side. It was exhilarating to go down that hill. Sometimes I would take my hands off the bike, lift my hands up, and I would roll around the neighborhood and go back to my home. It was so nice. Now, I'm accepting this award today, but if I can be honest, last year was incredibly difficult for me. I was going up the hill and trying to gun it. I probably sent emails to 200 brands to work with Harlems Fashion Row, and honestly, that didn't work. So I said, you know what? I have to change gears. So last year, we had to let about 30% of our contractors go, which was heartbreaking for me. And then we got to this point where I realized that even changing the gears wouldn't work, and it wouldn't get us up that hill. And so I had to walk that bike up the hill. It was a week by week deciding, how do we keep moving forward? So I know what those of you in this room are going through. You're on the hill just like I was last year, and you've had to make some layoffs. You're in a really tough retail and business environment.
Mm-hmm. Let's stop for a minute. So, okay, good. That was great. Make sure this is still recording and no phone call came in. Yes, still recording. So, great with the up the hill moment. Mm-hmm. I'd like for you to share the remember the triangle?
Okay.
So you were mainly here with that.
Okay.
So make sure you're giving energy here, you're giving energy here. And in the end, it was really, really nice. Isn't that what you say? What do you say at the end of the hill thing? You say something at the very end of it.
When
you were a kid.
When I was a kid. Oh, that it was so exhilarating to go down the hill and to enjoy that experience. And sometimes I would lift my hand in the air, and I knew that I was going to get ready to go back to my home and enjoy, I should probably say, like, enjoy a nice meal, a home-cooked meal or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that was great. Okay, so I think what you want to do, you remember that as the speaker, it's strategic. You're setting them up for what's to come.
Right.
And so you want to hit those marks a little harder. First, I'm going up the hill, and what is it? I'm going as fast as I can, right? You're going as fast as you can, right? And you may even want to say that to you is always better than me.
Okay.
Yeah, so first, you're going up the hill, right? You're going as fast as you can. You're gunning it. And that's what I did. I went up the hill and I gunned it, and whatever the case may be. And then, so each time you make you go to a different moment, you want to make it a moment because you're going to refer back to it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And the way you're doing it is great. Keep that energy up because they don't know what's coming. All they know is you're just, you're telling a story. It's fun. It's great. And then there's the shift, which you did really nicely. The second thing I want you to think about is once you say, I know what you're going through, the status changes. So your brand, Brandice, you lower your status, which is good because basically whenever you're in front of people, what I sense is you're always letting them know, hey, I'm just like you. There's this energy of I'm still learning. I need you guys. But there's also Brandice, the CEO, or was it?
Yeah.
Your title is the CEO, the boss. The person that has experience, that you have mentees. You're a mentor.
Yeah.
And I think you want to shift there when you say, I know what you're going through. You become the leader, the boss. You take the authority in the room because now they're in a place where they need to hear at this moment the wisdom that you're about to give them.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So let's see if we can do the mountains, the hill story again.
Okay.
Hit those moments a little harder. Because you remember, you're going to refer back to them. These are your points. These metaphors, metaphorical moments, are actually your points.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think it's the how many of you. Is it the how many of you? Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
All right. Now I'm going to take you all back to when you were a child. How many of you had a bike when you were a kid? So did I. So I lived in a neighborhood in Memphis. There were 3 streets on that neighborhood, and I lived on the 1st street. But on the 3rd street, there was this hill. And so I would ride my bike around to the 3rd street, and I would get to this hill, and I would have to make a couple decisions. One of the decisions I would have to make is, am I going to gun it and use that momentum to get me up the hill? Let me change that. Okay. On the 3rd street, there was this hill, right? And I'm sure so many of you remember these kind of hills in your neighborhood, and you get to the hill and you have to decide, am I going to gun it and use that momentum to get you up the hill? Or other times you have to change the gears on your bike to make it a little bit easier for you to get up that hill. And then there were other times when you may have been so tired that you said, you know what? I'm just going to walk this bike up the hill, right? But it was so worth it because of what was on the other side.
Refer back to yourself, yeah.
It was so exhilarating for me to go down that hill, to feel the breeze on my face. Sometimes I lift my hands in the air, and then I would make it back around the neighborhood to my mom's house where I would have me a nice home-cooked meal. I am accepting this award today. But I have to tell you, last year was one of the hardest years I have ever experienced with Harlems Fashion Row.
Good, let's stop there real quick. That was great. That was great. Now, you got to remember the triangle, though, because if I'm the audience member over here, I want to see your face.
Okay.
And so do they. So that's all I want you to remember there. But that was great. That was really, really, really good. So keep that.
Okay.
Hold that. Okay, let's keep going.
I started out, I tried to gun it, and so I sent out about 200 emails to brands hoping that they would partner with us this year, and that didn't work. So I had to change gears, and changing gears for us meant that I had to end several of our contractors so that we could just make it. I did that, that didn't work. So I had to eventually get to a place where I was walking the bike up the hill. That meant literally creating a strategy week by week. It was tough. And so I know what so many of you in this room are dealing with right now. Business is tough. The retail environment is tough. And you tried to gun it, and that didn't work. Many of you had layoffs last year, and things are still tough. And some of you are having to decide, you know what? I'm gonna walk the bike up the hill. You have made so much progress with racial equality for Black executives and designers over the last 3 years. And what I don't want you to do is to stop. Because when I stopped that bike on the hill, usually I fell off the bike. We can all see where things are going. We can all see what the youth are requiring. In the next 10 years, nothing will look the same. This generation is requiring inclusivity. And so when you stop the work, you're literally stopping all of the momentum you have gotten over the last few years. You want to, now I'm just
That's great.
winging it. I just wanted you to hear the tone shift.
That was great.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah. And listen, we'll come back to it later. You are an improviser. Remember, I don't know if I told you this. My whole program has grown, I think, since we've last done it this way. But, you know, I have my improvisers, I have my outliners, and I have my memorizers. You're an improviser because you know your subject so well. You really can go off of the top of your head. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you rehearse it.
Okay.
Yep, that's the key. You got to rehearse it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay, where do I stop? Okay. And there are so many organizations out there right now that will help you get to the top of the hill. You've got the CFDA, Designer Fashion Hub. You've got Fashion for All. You've got the Black in Fashion Council. You've got the 15% Pledge. You've got Harlems Fashion Row, Icon 360. There is no shortage of people and organizations and partners that can help you keep going up the hill, but we can't stop.
Yes. Now, that's beautiful. The listing, that's all great. But when you say that last moment, which is what?
But we can't stop.
Yeah. And what about going up the hill? You go back a little bit too. When you say something about going up the hill, but we can't stop.
There are so many of these organizations that are here to help you get up the hill, but you cannot stop.
Yeah. And that's great. So when you bring these organizations going up the hill, you just have to remember that the whole point of the metaphor is to get to that moment, another moment of going up this hill. But the whole point of you saying the hill and talking about when you're a child is the last sentence, which is, but you can't stop. And I think that when you say that, it has to be with conviction.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And that conviction has to come through your eyes. And I think you can give a pause there. We'll figure out time later. But for right now, I really want you to capture that.
Right.
You can't stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can't stop.
Good.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I believe that you will be there at the top of the hill. Just like I'm believing that you'll get there to the top.
Mm-hmm. So there, the energy changes again. So you've made your convicting point.
Yeah.
You know, you've shown that you really care. You have empathy for them. You've given them some wisdom. Now you can return to this
Okay.
open energy. But I believe in you.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I believe that you will be there at the top of the hill. And when this next generation comes and they say, what are you doing for Black designers and for Black executive? You'll be able to coast on all the work that you're doing right now. And just like you've given this award to Harlem's Fashion Row, and you have faith in Harlem's Fashion Row, I have faith in you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. So, I think a couple of things. One is a general note that this has more to do with just in general for your future work. But I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, that's great. You got it. Now what you have to do though is the thing I'm trying to get my speaker folk to remember is when you get on the stage, it's a balance between when you're telling a story, sometimes you're in the moment and you allow for yourself to be in the unknown so that you can re-experience it for us. But ultimately though, as a speaker, you're a strategist. You know exactly what you're saying, why you're saying it, you know what you're doing, and the whole idea is to drive home a point, to walk out with value, and to reach the goal or the message of why you're there, which you just did, by the way. So I really want you to be conscious of, like a minister, preachers are the greatest speakers, that it's well planned out. It is well planned out in the content, but you also have to be mentally there too, strategizing, so that when you mention the metaphor of the hill, you know within yourself what's coming next, the way you're going to lead us, and how you're going to drive those points home based on that. Does that make sense? And you're shifting for a reason. When you shift to being more of the mentor, as it were, you know what you're doing. You're not just doing it just to do it. But then when you shift back, once again, you know what you're doing.
Got it.
Does that make sense? I want you to be intentional and conscious about it, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, so that's one thing. We're going to run it here in a second. How are we on time?
It's 9:27. I can go to 11. I mean to 10.
Oh, good. Okay. Let's run it, and then I want to try it a third time with a note I'm going to give you. But I want to run it first.
Okay.
So let's take it from the beginning, and let's see how long it is.
All right.
I can't look. Yeah, I'll let you. I can't look at my fingers. So if you can take a look at the time.
That's okay. I'll record it this time.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation, Ashley. I'm so grateful. Wow. Last year, I was here on this stage presenting an award, and this year I'm here accepting the Maverick Award for Harlem on behalf of Harlem's Fashion Row. I want to say thank you to the American Image Awards and to the CFDA. Thank you so much. And I see Stephen Cove over there. Stephen, thank you. I remember a decade ago, Stephen came up to Harlem and had a conversation with me and about 200 Black designers at the Schomburg. And that conversation was so inspiring for the people in that room. I've never forgotten it. And I'm so grateful for your continued support. I also see Cassandra Diggs there. Cassandra, thank you so much for your leadership. Your presence at the CFDA means so much to me and so many others. I appreciate the empathy and the conversations that we've had over the years, I am so excited for your promotion. And as I look around, I see so many of our brand partners. I see so many of our brand partners who are working with us on the front lines. They are providing opportunities to Black designers, opportunities to HBCU students, creating a pipeline for their organizations. And I want you to know that your work matters. It not only means so much to me and Harlems Fashion Row and so much to the designers and the HBCU students, but your work means so much to this industry. So thank you. Now, my daughter Sky Grace could not be here, but I'm sure my husband is recording this for her. So thank you so much to my baby Sky Grace. And last but not least, I want to thank my husband who is here with me. Babe, you have been with me on this journey for the last 16 years, and I could not do this without you. So thank you, Rich Daniel. Now, I want all of you to think back with me to when you were a child. Just work with me on this. How many of you in this room had a bike when you were a kid? Okay, a lot of us had a bike, right? When I was a kid, I lived in a neighborhood in Memphis, and there were 3 streets on the neighborhood. I lived on the 1st street, but on the 3rd street, there was this hill, and I would ride my bike, and I'm sure you can relate to this when you rode your bike and you got to a hill, and you had to make some decisions, right? Like either you were gonna gun it and use that momentum to help you get up the hill, or you would change gears and make it a little bit easier for you to paddle up that hill. And then there were times when, you know, you were so tired and so exhausted from playing that gunning it didn't work and changing the gears didn't work. And you would literally say, you know what? I'm just going to walk that bike up the hill. But it was all worth it, because once I got up the hill, I would go down that hill and it would be exhilarating. I would feel the wind on my face. Sometimes I would put my hands in the air and I would ride that bike around the corner back to my home, where hopefully there was a home cooked meal. Well, I'm accepting this award this year, but I have to be honest, last year was so tough for me and for Harlems Fashion Row. We got to a hill and I tried to gun it. I sent emails to over 200 brands to partner with us for this year, and that didn't work. And so I had to change gears, which meant letting go of so many of our amazing contractors, and even that didn't work. And I got to a place where I had to decide that I'm going to keep moving forward and I'm going to keep getting up this hill no matter what. And so for me, that meant that I was going to have to walk the bike up the hill. And so I know what many of you in this room are going through. I know that business is tough. I know that the economy is tough. I know that there are so many uncertainties right now. There are many of you in this room who've had to lay people off. Maybe there are people in this room who've been a part of the layoffs. It's been rough. It really has. But you all have made so much incredible progress towards racial equality in this industry over the last 3 years. I've seen you gun it. I've seen you change gears. But now you have to make a decision. And some of you have to decide, I'm just gonna walk this bike up the hill. But what I won't do is I will not stop. Because every single time that I stopped as a kid going up the hill, I fell off my bike. I lost my balance. And it wasn't pretty. And so there is a generation that is waiting on us that is counting on us, and that will require us to keep going up that hill. They're going to be looking when we get up the hill. They're going to expect that we've got a diverse board. They're going to expect that we've got diverse executives in our company. They're going to expect that we're working with Black designers. That is going to be the expectation. And so the question is, how are you going to get up the hill? And right now, there are so many organizations, so many people to help you get up the hill. There's the CFDA's Black Designer Hub. There's Fashion for All. There's the 15% Pledge. There's the Black in Fashion Council. There's Harlems Fashion Row. There's Icon 360. There's so many others that I haven't even named. And so what we have to do right now, what I'm imploring you to do right now, is do not stop.
That's okay. I think you go on to say about believing.
I believe that we will continue to make momentum. I believe that those of us in this room are truly committed. I believe that when we get up that hill and people ask about the diversity in our company, we will be able to coast because we've done the work. You all have believed in me. You have believed in Harlem's Fashion Row. I want you to know that I believe in you. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yes.
That was 5 minutes.
That's all right. That's all right, because was it 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because really and truly, you know as well as I know from the work we've done in the past that there's a minute and a half that can be cut out where you're not going to lose the dynamics.
Right.
No, it's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Because some things were a little repetitive.
Yeah, they were.
So, but it's okay though.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think that the thing that you want to think about, and it's really because you were kind of going off the top for a while, but you can get to I believe in you quicker.
Okay.
Yeah, because you make the point. There's a couple of times where you were making the point over and over again.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Once you've made that point, you can go right to I believe in you. And I think we can probably, on our next go, the next time we meet, work on the very end. Because it's a little abrupt in the end.
Okay.
It's a beautiful ending.
It does
but
feel.
It's a little abrupt.
Before, it wasn't so abrupt.
Uh-huh.
Before, I had, my phone got stuck, so I had to restart it.
Oh, it's okay.
I said.
I love the way that I believe in you as an ending. We just need to figure out another couple of beats or what have you.
Yeah.
Another couple of things to say as you lead up to that moment, and we can figure that out.
Okay. I feel like I need to take what I just did, get it,
transfer out.
Yeah.
And
edit that.
Yeah. Yep. It's a lot of great material there.
Okay.
A lot of great stuff there. Let me see if it's still 10. Great. Excellent. So I'm just gonna say something into the camera. Let's make sure it's still going. Actually, I won't say anything into the camera. So I'm gonna edit this. Cool. I'm gonna stop.